Hey everybody. If you're watching this, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and to like the video. So I'm back for another review of Queen's Court, Season 1, Episode 2, Shoot Your Shot. So I'm clearly doing this for pure entertainment because we already apparently know how it ends because people don't have to follow their contractual obligation, don't have a contractual obligation to keep it a secret so we can stay on edge. But anyway, episode 2 called Shoot Your Shot. All right. Anyway, so they are meeting the new seven guys, Evelyn, Nivea, Tamar. And as like their opening kind of meeting thing, they're doing a photo shoot. So Rodney Pete, explains these women are used to being in the lights and doing these photo shoots, this, that, and the other. And I was like, Nivea, we can say, was a star, a singer. Tamar, sure, but not if it hadn't been for Tony. And then Evelyn Lozada, let's just be like, I just don't put them up there with like real stars. I just don't. There are grades of stardom. Anyway, so these men are killing me, acting like they are just seeing these women for the first time. Like, bruh, okay, y'all want to be on TV. That's why y'all tried out for this show. Cut it out. So I liked a lot of the pictures actually, but I was like, seriously, what's the point of this? And what I mean by you're taking pics to figure out like what who you look best with, like you know what I mean. So Evelyn Lozada um, says she has always dated black men, and that just seems to be her thing. Um, it was given real fetish like. And I believe that yes, she has dated them consistently. Hell, we've seen it. I think she may take pride in being able to bag black men because of how poorly certain black men talk about black women and treat black women. Okay? Now, I'm not saying I know that for a fact. I'm just saying that's how it appears to me. Hence why she called Chad Ochocinco to find out if he ever really wanted to sleep with OG on Basketball Wives. This was after they divorced, after he abused you. Why do you care? Why would you even try to do that? Why would you talk to your abuser who, when you bring up his name, you start to cry? Exactly. Okay? And the same OG who she mistreated, who she compared to a monkey, and then decided she was going to sue for slander when she responded to it. Okay? You showed your whole ass hand of cards. Okay? Now that's colorism at its best, and that's when she tried to pull that Afro Latina bullshit. No, girl. Mm-mm. Cut it out. All right? But anyway, this was all a long way to her getting to why she asked the white guy out on a date because she's open to this, and that's where I was going with all that background information. Anyway, so Billy is like he could be like Lenny Kravitz's stunt double if the stunt double is on TV for 0.07 seconds. Okay, and we don't have time to really think about it. Anyway, and if Lenny Kravitz was like a real actor, but he's not. All right, he's telling Tamar that her ex Vince basically discovered him. Sir, if nothing else, out of respect for a man who discovered you and has given you opportunities to work, could you not be on TV flirting with his ex-wife and trying to get at her? If for no other reason than that, could you not? All right. Anyway, so Tamar was like, "It's giving no," and I was like, "I'm yes, okay." He was like, "I thought you would know." Why would she know? Unless y'all had met with each other before that, unless you had been her drummer or her musician or her producer or something. Like, next, I don't even have time for this fake shit, but I kind of do. Anyway, so they bring in the other six men from the week before. It seems like the day before, by the way, we're watching it, but whatever. The women said they feel a lot of pressure. Holly Robinson P. She explains that anybody, regardless of how long they've been in this process, can be eliminated at the upcoming dinner. I was like, ooh. The women go and invite three men, this time three men, on a date with them, I guess because the number of men have increased. So Mac said he was disappointed that Nivea didn't ask him on a date, but her and Mac seemed to really like hit it off. And I think maybe Nivea is trying to get to know other people, and I don't see anything wrong with that. But I could tell he's not really into anybody else. Like he didn't go over there and try to flirt a little bit with Evelyn, try to flirt a little bit with um, Tamar, and you know what? It's nice sometimes that somebody can just actually just really be just into you. Anyway, Tamar checks in with Gatsby, Kobe Randolph. Okay, checks in with Gatsby when she said to him like, "Look, I meant what I said about you being over the top." And trust me, Tamar should know all about being over the top. Hell, y'all two sides of the same damn coin. He said that gave him insight into who she was and how she was a queen and how she was a queen looking for a king. And I was just like, Gatsby, you are so full of shit. Like, why are y'all so full of shit? Okay, like the guy who told Evelyn he prayed about them. And I was just like, once people start that kind of foolishness, like, just cut it out. Cut it out. All the way out. Okay? Anyway, um, then I asked myself, why was I watching this, knowing how full of shit people are? Because somehow people's full of shitness intrigues me. Anyway, so Evelyn, they all go on their dates with like 3 minutes. So Evelyn has a date and says she needs a man who's working out regularly, but he doesn't have to look like The Rock or anything. But he can't be an in and out drive through every day. She was like, because then I'll be eating in and out every day. I was like, I'm glad you put that there. Okay. Um, because the rest of us who struggle with our weight don't really feel like hearing about, you know, semi skinny girl problems. Anyway, so I know what it is, okay, as a teacher to have a bunch of high school boys come in after PE, okay, sweating and stinking. And if they are men, I know they smell worse, okay? And 3 is too many to be close to when they're working out, okay? So why would you do a date in the gym? That's the short of my long question. Okay, I use my treadmill at home. Gyms seem nasty to me. I'm paranoid. I'm already a germaphobe. I was especially a germaphobe with COVID. Made it even worse. But also, I just have anxiety about working out in front of people. But that's just me. Um, and Evelyn is talking about how she plans to date a regular guy, even though people may not believe it because of her Instagram and her dating history. And I'm like, well, you can count me in that group that don't believe that, girl. That's why you on a reality TV show looking for a man. Oh, just cut the bullshit. Anyway, so Nivea takes her dates tomato picking, and eventually they're going to come back and do like this taste testing and make pizzas or whatever. Tamar also has a cooking date, but I want to deal with that first. So Tamar has a cooking date. JR, the white guy, is talking about how he doesn't do tequila, but he does basically this other kind of hard alcohol. And then he's like, I'll do whatever my lady does. Tamar was like, she doesn't have time for a man who can't control his liquor at this point in the game. Thank you. Because that's always been embarrassing to me, but it's especially embarrassing at that age. All right. So JR is talking about how he's an alpha male. And so then the black men are doing all the work in the kitchen as part of the like cooking kind of date. As he sits there talking to Tamar, something about those optics were very offensive to me. Because once again, it's black people having to service and the privilege of a white man just said, I'm an alpha male, I don't do that. Excuse me, sir? Okay. Tamar, you should check that. Anyway, um, I didn't like the way that looked and I didn't like the way it felt. So Gatsby tries to give the new guy, Jashawn, that's his name, a chance to talk about himself to prove that he listened to Tamar when she was like, kind of like he's always, going, running his mouth and that kind of thing. Um, so he starts telling Tamar about how he listens to all her music, especially before he goes to bed. And everybody's just kind of like, it was just giving too much fan. It was giving weirdness. Even if it was true, bruh, that is not the way to hook me. That actually seems weird. So he brings up All the Way Home, the song, which I actually like too, and says, you start by arguing and end up in love. And Tamar is like, in the confessional, like, I thought that was going to be something deep. Like, she was like, I appreciate all my fans, but that doesn't mean I'm going to sleep with you. Hello and good morning. Okay. So Gatsby said, um, I knew when he started saying he listened to her music, it wasn't gonna be good. He was like, "This not autograph time. This not selfie time," and that wasn't the look. And I was like, "Gatsby, I don't like you, but you dead on with this one. Like, bruh, you must have no game at 43. Come on, son." So Jashawn is talking about how he has researched her and knows she has a champagne bar in her house. He was like, "Yeah, I know it's kind of stalkerish," and I was like, Ooh, okay. Anyway, um, and he starts talking about how he tries to write songs that he can if the right person influences him, and he thinks they can get money together. And Tamar says she doesn't want her partner to be her business partner. That hasn't worked out before. And she was like, I want a connection. I don't want to be the connection. And I'm glad you peeped that. But Tamar, this whole kind of trying to convince us, and I know Vince has come up without you bringing it up, but I'm just saying this whole idea that like Vince kind of did you so dirty. The way you were on that show, and granted, we can only be seeing TV, but you were always in his face, and I don't remember seeing Vince really ever jump out of his skin. Because honestly, there were so many times where I just felt like people, everybody in your family should have cursed you out. Somebody should have just smacked you clear across your face. Just something to just get you to shut the fuck up. Okay, so what we need to do is stop. I'm gonna need you to dial it back and quit acting like that's the only reason why that marriage didn't work. And if it does, if it was, um, ma'am, I think you have a lot of self reflection you need to work on. So anyway, like I told you, Nivea had the men picking like natural tomatoes. The men come back and make her pizza with the natural tomatoes. She says Rayshawn has the best one. And Rayshawn is growing on us. And Rayshawn is like he's a really nice guy. He always ends up having like an interesting story to tell. He told us like how his daughter had passed, how he had been in the Marines, and he was like, look, when I left, I didn't really have much money. So the one thing I couldn't offer women that, but I could offer them the ability to cook. And he was like, I cook all the time. And every time she ate this different guy's pizza, she was dancing and laughing, and she's just really funny and goofy. Like she's good for the show. And I think Rayshawn is a really nice guy. I wish he would cut his hair, but that's neither here nor there. I think a nice person to be with is worth being with. All right. So Holly came in to check on them to see how their dates went. Holly, you are killing that green V-neck blouse. Yes, ma'am. I'm just trying to figure out how Holly looks better than all of y'all, hasn't had the plastic surgery, the fillers, and is older than y'all. Oh, I know. Natural beauty, aging gracefully, not gracelessly. Yes, ma'am. So Tamar tells her about Gatsby, saying that Gatsby moved because he basically told her on the day, I moved past a full blown crush. I moved past infatuation. Now I have full blown crush. And she was like, that is just moving too fast for her. They talk about the men they had dates with and the ones they didn't have dates with. And so Holly was like, okay, well, we'll see them at the elimination party. First of all, I'm going to need y'all. Holly and Rodney, y'all wrong as hell for calling it a party. Okay, it's not a party. Let's just leave it at elimination dinner because there is nothing really to celebrate that process, especially if you get kicked off and the angst these women go through. Anyway, so why? Yeah, so Gatsby is there for a second time at the elimination dinner party, whatever the hell it is. And they point that out to him. And Rodney and Holly are like, so you really have to prove yourself. So Evelyn goes to talk to G Sean. And he says, it's kind of weird. He basically starts trying to be a victim. I was put in a bad position, with meeting singers, so I wanted to have some backup. You chose to go on a reality show, so let's stop the BS there. Okay, this wasn't like you was just at a club, you was with your homeboys, and they brought their friends who happened to be singers. Stop playing, just stop. So anyway, Evelyn told him, well, it does seem that you're after her for being a singer because of what you told her on a date about listening to her songs and her career and this, that, and the other. She was like, you have to think about her as a singer and the kind of family she comes from in terms of like being famous, being Toni Braxton's sister, so on and so forth, and why you acting like that may not be appealing. And instantly he's like, I get it. Like he just has this epiphany. I get it. Then he writes Tamar a card, brings her some champagne, and he apologizes and says he should have understood boundaries. He said, I'm personally not sure why he didn't get it. Um, and I do think, when somebody is wrong, for them to acknowledge why they're wrong. Is it just me or does G Sean look like Omar Epps? Like not as cute as Omar Epps, like a thinner Omar Epps. Like he was giving real Omar Epps like cousin tease. Anyway, so Gatsby, whatever his name is, interrupts, asks him if she really doesn't like him, and that's why he's at the elimination dinner, or is it just that she likes seeing him? Then he was like, Tamar, you told me I had tennis shoes on, and he said he doesn't see what's wrong with that. And Tamar is just like, you are just moving too fast. And I'm like, Gatsby, haven't you had enough camera time, sir? So we get to the elimination dinner. So Tamar tells Gatsby in front of everybody he's moving too fast, and she tells him at the dinner that if he takes off his tennis shoes and puts on his walking shoes, then maybe they can get to know each other. I just knew she was gonna get rid of him, but she didn't. So now we're stuck with him for I don't know how many episodes. Okay, so we have to deal with him for another episode at the least. And truth be told, they two sides of the same coin. Both of them are known for being over the top, and I think that's why she sees through him and understands him. Anyway, they got rid of Billy, who was on here looking like Lenny Kravitz, and he's corny. Then he said in the confessional, this, you know what he had never said in the confessional? That those three women are the kind of women he would usually go for. I was like, Ninja, you knew who they were when you came on this reality show. So don't play now because you got put off. Don't. So the guy named Popular who was wearing like David Ruffin glasses, he got sent home too. Like we only knew him for a second. So clearly you're not that popular. I need you to change your nickname. And Jashawn was on the chopping block too. And for some reason I thought they may keep him around because I really do think he tried to apologize to Tamar, but they sent him on. They said he was more of a friend, and that's how all three of them saw him. And they have to walk out the door. He took it humbly, and they cheers it up. I was like, it must be good to be Holly and Rodney. Like, I'm glad we don't have these relationships. But anyway, that was the episode. Y'all tell me what you think, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Okay, bye.